Hello everybody, and welcome to my third part of my Raidou breakdown slash guide, which is today's episode is about his combo potential. We're gonna talk about Raidou's combo potential today, and before I go on, I wanna thank you everybody for the love and support you showed me on Twitter and on the Discord. Thank God it was not the worst outcome I could have gotten, and I hope it stays like how it is now, and I also hope I never have to deal with that ever again. But yeah, even though I'm not feeling good or my mind is still confused, I'm still pulling myself together, doing my content, doing my streams on Twitch. And if you haven't followed me on Twitch, I would recommend you to follow me on Twitch. I do my streams there, and I do my streams separately with my YouTube content. Sometimes I pull something from my Twitch streams and make a video out of it, but most of the time it's separate things I do, so I hope. Follow me on Twitch if you haven't, and if you have, it's awesome. Nevertheless, let's go to the common potential of Raidou. I'm going to be a little bit faster, I could say, today, so I'll talk not so detailed, but bear with me. So let's go into it, and today we're going to talk about his combo potential. We start with the first part, which is Raidou has the best damage output in the game. He has high damage, and with one combo he can take 1/3 of your life bar if he wants to. If you have seen some Raidou combos, you can see he does super high damage, which is necessary for him because his safe and unsafe options we talked about are not so good, I could say, but still, it helps him. It helps Raidou. And the next topic is going to be his environmental damage. I could say, to describe in other words, Raidou works like Hayabusa, I could say, with the environment, with the danger zones, I could say you unlock his true potential from working with the environment a lot. If you have seen my combo video I did for Raidou, you see how I really work with the environment to get my high damage combos. But I'm still gonna show you now some examples, and you can see how the environmental helps Raidou's damage output to become even higher. So after this we're gonna go to the next topic, and yeah, I'll see you in a second after those clips. Okay, now after this little demonstration I gave you, now we're gonna talk about 3 topics at the same time I've written, because I think they all match together. and that is that Raidou has satisfying combos. His combos look awesome. Everybody says Raidou's combos look really sick. Then he can experiment with lightweights a little bit, so his combos can be changed on lightweights more often than on mid and heavyweights. To stick with the basic stuff, I can say, on mid and heavyweights. And the last topic, not the last topic, but the third topic is he has really good carries. If you see, if you have seen some Raidou gameplay, and not only on my channel, there are also other content creators or other players that do really sick Raidou or Raidou gameplays. I can say Emeryreigns, there's Deity, and Hoodless is also the best player in the world, and he plays solid with Raidou, really good. I would recommend watching those people. There are also other ones I didn't mention because this would be a pretty long list. I give you just 3 examples there. And yeah, then you have also, I can also say you have people that get inspired by me, which is Blank. I will put all those people in the link below so you can see how they are. So I hope you check them out, even though they are not focused on Raidou, but sometimes you see some Raidou gameplay from them. I would even recommend to follow them on Twitch, because some of they stream also on Twitch. So now I can talk about this with all these 3 topics I mentioned, which is satisfying combos. He can experiment with lightweights, and he has really good carries. As you know, that Raidou is has not the best, I could say, combos, or how should I describe it better? It's not like with Hayabusa, where you can do more things than with Raidou, right? Because Raidou is limited to 64 moves compared to Hayabusa, but either less, even with this limited moves, he has really good carries, and his combos look satisfying. And like I said, you can experiment with lightweights. I can show you 3 combos with him to see what I'm talking about. First we have normal combos, which is like this. I mean, this is a combo that looks satisfying to pull off, and even pull this off on high ranks, I could say. To do this, it's awesome. Then you have the really good carry and the experiments. Let's talk for a second about the experiment. For what I mean with experiment, there are some things you can only do on lightweights, and my example is you can do the new fatal stun he has, which is Kodo Circle P plus K, into his new launch, which is Kodo Circle back P. Do an electric into the air grab. You're not forced, I don't tell you to do this. This is just a peek to see what you can do with, or what you can do on lightweights. So it looks like this. And as you can see, I did 99 damage there. So my damage, I could say 1/3 of your life bar is gone with this combo, and if you don't have a meter breakhold to get out of it, this thing will be guaranteed. You can't get out of it. And yeah, the carry, now we come to the carry. I can show you one carry which I think is one of his best carries, if not the best carry. And you can see that I'm going to now move him to the wall and even make him hit the wall with Raidou from the middle here. So let me see if I can pull this off. As you can see, I did it first try. Normally it's hard for me, I do it most of the time on my third try, and as you can see, I carried him from the middle of the map towards the wall, and that taunt was an accident, and I got rewarded with 112 damage, and he also hit the wall. So you have pressure, I can say. You can wall pressure him. Even though Raidou is not really good for pressuring, still having pressure on your opponent is really good. And yeah, that's going to be for the 3 topics. Now we're gonna talk about the next topics, which are: he has access to 2 bounds and he has 3 launch options. To tell you that not every character in DOA6 has access to 2 bounds, and if they have, then it's like this: one of them will wall splat and the other one will not wall splat, and in Raidou's sake it's free KP. This is this bound you always do, and it wall splats. And the other one, which is he's only capable of doing it, is from his Fatal Rush. Raidou is the only one who's capable of doing bound from his Fatal Rush. No other character can do it, and I'm not talking about bouncing off a little bit from the ground and getting a move, like for example with Raidou 7k or something. I'm talking about a real bounce. So like, to show you, this looks like this, and as you can see, he bounded his opponent with his Fatal Rush. You don't do the full string, you do only the first 3 parts, and you bound with this. Let's see if you can get this. Oh. As you can see, I can get something like this. And yeah, then the next one was he has 3 launch options. Raidou has, as you heard, he has 3 launch options. One is going to be his 8k, but the problem with this is it's a high, so a low hold or a low crush or going into the crouch and will make this move with, but it launches high. It doesn't launch high as, if I'm not mistaken, as his new launch, but you still get, for example, on every weight class you can get air grab when you launch with 8k if you land it. Then you have the next one, which is free k. Just doing free k on a stun, you will launch your opponent and you can get your combos, and you also have access to a bound. You can do it like this, and yeah, as you saw, you can do something like this. And to tell you a little bit, to have this in your back pocket or having a free k is always good, because you're not always going to throw 8k, even though it does probably the highest damage from all his launches, but because it's a high, this move can whiff, so you will normally throw like a 3-3k sometimes in there. And if you see people low hold, high holding, then you can always try to throw them. The next one, the next launch is his, it's a new one. It got replaced with his old launch from DOA6, which is now quarter circle back P. This got this in DOA5. He had this other one where he did something like an uppercut and was back turn, so he could get much out of it. But now he got this old one got replaced with this, and it's from Leon's. It launches super high, so you can get with these 2 electrics on lightweights, and on midweights you can get also 2 electrics, but you have to do this after a sit down stun. And yeah, it's also a really fast launch. It's not fast like 3-3k, which is as fast as launch. 8k is also a fast launch, but it's 1 frame slower, I could say, from compared to this. But yeah, before I forget to tell you, this is not a true mid. This is not a true mid. If you think this is a true mid, then I unfortunately have to tell you this is not a true mid. Even though it looks like he's wiping the floor with his hand, it doesn't. It's not a true mid. If you have characters like Helena or Red Wong, where in their stances where they lean down, or Helena with her Boku stance, this move will whiff. So this is unfortunately not a true mid. And even when you hit your opponent to the obstacles in some maps like Chinese Festival to the boxes, this move can also whiff. So that's why I use most of the time 3-3k, because it hits the opponent, I could say, and it picks also your opponent up when you hit them to the obstacles. Now, the next thing is going to be about his throws, offensive holds, and normal holds. So Raidou is super limited, I can say, when it comes to throws, offensive holds, and low holds. First, let's talk about his throws. He has only a neutral throw, is 6T, a 3-3T, the underworld drop or the super launcher throw, and he has a low throw. That's it. And also the 5T throws from back turn don't count, so we're just talking about straight towards the opponent. And yeah, he doesn't, as you saw, he doesn't have a reset grab, and that, I could say, hurts him a lot, because just going for damage is not always the options. For example, you have Hayabusa, you have Hayate, you have Iliad, who have reset grabs, and they can put you in a guess situation which Raidou can't. So unfortunately you're limited, but still those throws do a lot of damage. So even though you don't have reset grabs, you're rewarded with high damage throws. The next one is going to be his offensive holds. He has access to 3 offensive hold, which is 6-6T. This is not a high damage throw. It does only 40 damage on normal hit, and on high counter, if I'm not mistaken, it does 59. And I don't know if it's a bug or if it was intended, but you can tech roll this offensive hold after he threw you, and that puts him on -4. So you lost your turn. Even though it's a bad offensive hold, you still have access to a fast offensive hold, and the good thing is you get some damage, I can say. You get some, at least a little bit of damage. I mean, if this didn't do any damage, even though it doesn't really do damage, with 60 damage you still get something. I mean, if this did what, 20 damage, this move would be unusable. I wouldn't even recommend it to use. But yeah, the next one is going to be has 3T, which is a low offensive hold, and use this to catch people who have a lot of low attacks. I can't give you a good example, but for example, if I do 2P, which is a low, I can try to catch this with my offensive hold. And the next one is going to be his big offensive hold, his high damage offensive hold, which is his 6-1-2-3-4 offensive hold this year. It's a 30 frame offensive hold, but the good thing is it does super high damage and it has some range to it, so you can throw it like from this distance and you can try to catch your opponents. The good thing about this move, I can say, is it's an offensive hold. It's not a grab, so you can't say it's a grab because offensive holds are known as catch throws. But yeah, if you get this, you have two options. You can just press T, or you can do what I did, 2 quarter circle forward into T, and you get 80 damage. Also, the T version has a wall version, which also does the same damage if you do it just in the open. But the good thing about the 2 quarter circle forward T option is it also wall splats. You get 10 additional more damage or 5 additional more damage, depends on how you're facing the wall. So, and now the last topic is, and I didn't mention his air grab. I didn't put him into the throws and offensive hold because the air grab is something that you don't always have access to. I could say this goes all for the air grabs. You don't really have access to them all the time. Like for example, I can always do a 5 neutral throw when I want, but with the air grab I have to launch my opponent. And let me tell you, the air grab is the same input as his offensive hold, which is 6-1-2-3-4. If you're not familiar with the DOA directional input, there are numbers. So for example, 1 is down back, 2 is down, 3 is down forward. You can look this up. It's not difficult to understand, and yeah, as you saw, it's 6-1-2-3-4. So that means it's a difficult air grab, probably the most difficult air grab in DOA6. But because it's so difficult, you also get rewarded with high damage, with a lot of damage. For example, we can do 2 8Ks, 2 up kicks, and do the air grab, and I will get 84 damage. As you see, 84 damage. As you also can see, it's a 19 frame move, so, and it also it grabs pretty high, as you can see. So you have to do this not fluently, but yeah, you have to be good with this air throw to land it. But you don't have to worry about these execution moves. It's just showing you that how his combo potential is, or how his damage output is. And yeah, that's going to be it. Now, if you enjoyed this video, please leave a like and tell me in the comments that it helped you to understand Raidou better again, and maybe piqued your interest in playing Raidou. in DOA6. And yeah, again, I'm thanking everybody who supported me throughout my situation I was. If you want to know about this situation, I'm not going to talk about it. I can just say you can watch this on Twitter if you have. You can go to the link to my account on which I put down in the below. And yeah, I hope I see you in the next video, and yeah, take care everybody. See you in the next video. Bye bye.